Hi, I'm Midge Shoemaker, and today is day 65 of my doing 100 days of YouTube videos. Yay for day 65. Okay, sorry, 100 days of YouTube videos, focusing on doing at least 2 things every day I don't want to do. So, yay for day 65, and yay for only 35 days left to go. Oh, 35 days, I can do this. Sometimes I just think it gets harder and harder, especially when I don't want to do things and I don't want to deal with things. So, yeah, kind of had a little bit of both of those today. So, had a long day at work, mostly because I had to open, so I had to be at work really early, and then I was there just all day long, and it was just a long day. And then after work, I decided I didn't really want to go to the grocery store, but I knew that I needed to get some food. And then I went, and I was hungry, which is always a bad idea, so I ended up buying more things that I needed to buy. Not that it was a bad thing to buy those things. I just hate that I'm on a budget and I really don't have the extra money to spend to buy this stuff. And I sort of have a little bit of extra money right now, but I also know that it needs to be stretched out for a longer period of time. And I'm not very good at the whole stretching it out for a longer period of time. I'm kind of like, oh, I have money now, I can spend it. And the crazy thing is I don't go spend it on really frivolous, stupid stuff. I mean, sometimes like extra stuff like the non-dairy yogurt stuff that I bought. It's not really that good, but I bought it anyway. Like a little extra treat or a snack for myself. But the rest of it's like it's food. It's like stocking up on things that I wouldn't normally be able to purchase because I don't have the extra money. So I bought some extra almond milk, which I didn't really need, but I could use some extra because I know I'm running low on the other stuff, and bought a bunch of extra oat flour so that I can make some dinner rolls because I just really want to do that. So, I mean, I bought more canned goods and more meats so it'll last me for like 2 or 3 weeks instead of just like 1 or 2 weeks, which it normally only does, because I was just out of meat, out of protein, and I just really need to have protein in my diet. So I just needed to go to the store to buy that, and then I just bought all the other stuff too. So I didn't need all the other stuff. I mean, I bought bell peppers, which are really yummy, but I didn't need them. And I ended up buying a whole bunch of them. I'm like, I really hope I can use them all before they go bad. So I'm probably going to have to spend some time cutting them all up before they go bad, and then just taking them as snacks to work or something. But I was like, they just looked so yummy, and they were on sale. And again, didn't need them, didn't need that many, but I will eat them. So that's not like I won't eat them. It's not like I'm buying stuff that's going to go to waste. It's just like, ooh, I have money. And I guess for me, I just put off all the stuff of taking care of myself, all the things that I need in lieu of paying all of my bills or taking care of other people or doing things for other people. So I do without. Like, I haven't bought new clothes in like years. I mean, I bought some when I started my job, but it was just stuff for my job. And now they're kind of getting too big and I need some new ones for my job, and I just haven't bought them because I'm like, I just don't have the extra money. Like, to me, like getting a Christmas bonus, and I spend it on Christmas for my kids, and I bought a few things for myself. I bought like a pair of tennis shoes for myself, and the rest of it mostly went to like my kids and to paying my bills that I didn't have money for. So I just, that's what I do with my money. It's not like I'm going out and buying really frivolous, crazy things, but it's like, ooh, I have a little bit of money, so I can go buy the stuff that I've been putting off purchasing, that I've been not allowing myself to have. And I think that's a great thing. But again, I know I have upcoming expenses and other things that I could use that money for. But I get a little bit excited and carried away because there's stuff I haven't let myself have for a while that I'm like, okay, I'm gonna let myself have this because I have a little extra money. And I know that's not a bad thing, but I have a hard time wrapping my brain around that. And I would love to be in a situation financially where I could just always do that, where I could just fill up my refrigerator instead of having just enough food to last from paycheck to paycheck, where I could have a little bit of money so I could actually fill up my tank of gas in spite of the outrageous gas prices, so that I could do more of the things that I want to do, or take road trips or do other things like that, and not feel guilty about spending my money on that. So I could just go buy a whole new wardrobe because my clothes are falling apart, the ones that I have that fit me, and because I'm losing some weight, and so I'm kind of in between sizes, and it would be nice to get some clothes that actually fit, that aren't falling apart or that aren't like 5 to 10 years old, because I've had them forever and I just don't throw them away because they're not totally worn out yet, and I might shrink back into them. And right now I'm working on shrinking back into some of them, and that would be nice. But at the same time, it would just be nice to just replace what I have and just let go of all the stuff that I've had, whether it's too big or too small or too worn out. But again, can't really afford to do that right now, so I won't. But I ramble. Anyway, I didn't want to go grocery shopping. I went shopping. I went hungry. I bought extra stuff. It's okay. I have food in my house. That's a fantastic thing. I may or may not have to go grocery shopping when I get paid on Wednesday, which will save my money until my next paycheck, and that's an even better thing. So I don't really need to stress about it. I just stress about it. And then, of course, I came home, and my my Brazilian friend came over, and she was literally just walking down the street. She'd sent me a text message, and I was like, oh my gosh, because she'd had an interview at work, to interview at the same place that I work at. It would be for a different position than what I have, but it's something that she's capable of doing. So she came and had an interview, and then when she left, she was like, "Ooh, talk to your boss and like find out what she said, and then tell me when I get home." And I was like, "You didn't understand what she said?" I'm like, "Oh, I don't really want to go in there and say what happened with my friend." So I didn't want to do that, and I kind of just put it off all day because I didn't know how to do that. And so I was like, "Nope, not doing that." And I didn't want to get my blood pressure checked at work, but it was the day to do it again. And thankfully, because of the conversation I had with my Al-Anon J friend yesterday, I kind of was like, okay, I can do this. I can breathe. I can do this. And then I was just thinking, the thought just popped into my head that this is my friend. She's not just my coworker. She's my friend, and she can take my blood pressure. It'll be fine. It's not a big deal. I'm not being judged. I'm not being like harangued. I'm not going to lose my job over this. There's nothing to be stressed out about. And when I went back, she took my blood pressure. It was almost normal, which is fantastic. It was 132 over 82, which is like the lowest it's been since they've taken my blood pressure at my work. And not that that's the lowest it's ever been in my life, but she was like, wow, she was like, you're really relaxed today. And I was like, I guess so. I think I was still a little bit nervous or whatever, and just having a lot of stuff going on. But I was okay. I was calm is what it was. I was calm, and I was like, okay, I'm okay with this. And so my blood pressure was closer to normal. So I was like, yay. I don't know if it's the medication working or if it's just God working in my life, but either way, it was closer to normal. So I'm excited about those numbers. And if they're still that way next week when I go see the doctor, I will get to just leave my medication the way that it is. And if it continues to get better, hopefully at some point I can taper off of the medication, at least the blood pressure medication, because I don't want to have to keep taking it. So that's a really good thing. That's a positive thing for me. So I was, yay. Didn't want to do that, but it turned out really great for me today. So I was like, yay. And then, of course, because my friend had the interview, I was, I needed to talk to somebody at work because she asked me to, but I really didn't want to. And then I ended up being by myself on the front at the end of the day. Some other coworkers had left, or they were somewhere else in the building. And my office manager that interviewed my friend came out, and then she just told me what I needed to know about my friend and the interview. And I was like, wow, okay, this is fantastic. I didn't want to have to do that. And then she just came out and did it for me. So I love when God just kind of intervenes and makes things work like that. So I came home and I had my phone on silent, so I didn't realize that my Brazilian friend had texted me, and she came over, and I was like, great, I just got home. I'm still unloading my groceries. I haven't had a chance to change. I haven't had a chance to make food. I haven't had a chance to do anything. And she's right there walking up to me, and I was like, hi. And she's like, this is a bad time. And I was like, I really wanted to just say yes, because I just wanted to come in and do my thing. But I was like, you know what? I will just, she needs a friend. She's worried about stuff. She's nervous. She's like, I can come back tomorrow. And I'm like, you're already here, so just come on in. So she came in and she watched me put my groceries away, and then we sat down and we talked about stuff, and I tried to explain some of it to her, and then she had me do a recording. So I did a recording, like I just recorded it, all the stuff that she needed to know. I probably should have just typed it up or something, but I just did like a video like I'm doing right now and sent it to her so she could take it to someone so they could watch it and then just translate what I was saying to her into Portuguese so that she could understand what's being said. And I was like, oh my gosh. So, and I think that's part of the reason they told her to try to apply in a few months after she's learned her English a little bit better, because they really loved her at my job, but she doesn't quite comprehend what's being said. So, she does need to learn that, which is hard. I can't even imagine how hard it is to have to learn another language. I've tried a few times to learn how to speak Spanish, and I've learned a whole ton of vocabulary words. But when people start speaking Spanish, I'm like, I can catch a few words, but I don't understand enough of them to know what's going on. And or I start to say something in Spanish, like I know 1 or 2 sentences, and then people that are like, oh, you speak Spanish, and they just prattle off, and I'm like, nope, I don't speak that well, I don't speak that much, I'm so sorry, I'm not understanding anything. So I totally get how she doesn't understand us and are talking really fast, and she's trying really hard. So and she's wanting me to help her some more, which I told her I would help her as best I can, but I don't really know how to teach someone else our language, and I'm really bad because if I understand what she's saying or I get the context of what she's trying to say, I'm like, okay, I'm good with this, but I don't correct her speaking in her language. And she's like, no, you have to correct me so I say it right. And I was like, I'm not good at that. I don't want to do that. I don't want to feel like I'm criticizing her or correcting everything that she says, because I hate when people do that to me. I hate when they correct my grammar and my punctuation and my words. And I'm like, I know I'm not speaking grammatically correct. I don't really care. That's a trigger for me, and I just don't want to do that to somebody else. And I realize that's not necessarily a trigger for her, and it would probably be beneficial and helpful to her, but it's really hard for me to do that for her. So I'm really hoping she can find someone else that's better at doing that for her, because I am not better at doing that. So anyway, that was kind of my crazy day and things that I didn't want to have to do. And there's other stuff, and I think by the end of the day, I was just kind of, I kind of went into my little place of depression, which I don't like to be in, because I just didn't get the answers that I wanted for things today, and that was okay. And I know it was okay, and I knew there were other options, and I knew things might have to be done differently, and I knew that going in. I just didn't want to have to use those other options. I was kind of hoping for the, here, I'm just going to give this to you and it's all going to work out. And it didn't work out that way. And life doesn't always work out that way. So that was just kind of disappointing for me. And I ended up not getting other stuff done that I wish that I had done. So, and I know I had one of those thoughts where it's like, if I chose to do something, I was going to regret it. And because I needed to work on my book and I didn't really want to. And so I chose to play on my phone. I'm like, you're going to regret this. And I'm like, yeah, going to bed at 11 o'clock at night. I'm totally regretting that decision, because I should have made the choice to work on my book or do something more productive. And I did not, because I was disappointed that some things didn't go the way that I wanted them to. And it had nothing to do with my Brazilian friend. It was something else personal after she left. So anyway, it's just more things that I have to do and figure out. And I just don't want to have to, but I will, because it needs to be done. So hence doing my videos of doing things I don't want to do, but knowing that it's good for me, and that by doing it, I actually feel better than by not doing it. So that's kind of where I'm at today, and kind of just battling my own little depression and internal thoughts that my ADHD medication does not take away. And there's still things that I have to deal with emotionally. And so, so it went from good things to not so good things. And it just kind of, I need to remember to focus on the good things and the positive things and the things that are going well in my life, and remembering that God is helping me do all the things I don't want to do and all the things I don't want to deal with, and it still works out in my life. And so grateful for these little videos that help me remind myself of that as I tell all of you about what's going on in my life. So grateful to get to make my videos, and thank you for all of you that are choosing to listen and to watch my videos. And if you like them, please hit like, subscribe, share with someone else if you think they'll like it too. And I hope you have a great day full of gratitude, and maybe find 1 or 2 things to do today that you don't want to do but would be good for you.